For those who keep these holy precepts, holy and hallowed will they be. Desire, therefore, each day my word. From the book of Wisdom. About a week ago, we celebrated Halloween. Now, I live on a main street, a very busy main street, and so I don't always get a whole lot of trick-or-treaters coming to the door. It doesn't stop me from going out to buy a big bowl of candy that maybe I'll end up eating myself later in the week, but I don't get a lot of trick-or-treaters. So, Halloween. It was a Sunday. I was ready at about 5:30. I had gotten back from somewhere, and I was ready for anything. 5:30, 6, 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8, 8:15, 8:30, 8:45. No trick-or-treaters. So at about 9 o'clock, I said, well, the day must be over. I put the candy away in the inside hallway, went down into the living room, kicked off my shoes, got on the couch, answered some emails on my phone, and was half listening to the news. When, at about 9:20, the doorbell rang. And I said, no. Went to the door. 3 trick-or-treaters. I looked and I said, are you here for Halloween? And one of them said, yes. I said, okay, hold on. I went and I got the bowl that was full of very nice candy bars. I opened my hand and pulled out a huge scoop and threw it in the first bag. And the second bag, a huge scoop, must have been 10 candy bars, in the third bag. Kids looked at me and said, thank you. And I said, happy Halloween. They walked away. I had very little candy left. And I said to myself, that's the spirit of Halloween. I was happy to give the candy away. They were happy to get the candy. The real spirit of Halloween. As you and I celebrate the feast of Pope St. Leo, as you and I listen to these readings, we are reminded of the wisdom that is allowing our hearts to be guided by God's Spirit. The first reading. Just the name of the book reminds us how wise it is to allow ourselves to be prompted and guided by God's Spirit, His presence, His love, His care, His mercy. It's a bit of a warning to people who have some power to use that power for good. That the power was not given for themselves. That a human tendency might be to stray at times in another direction. But the Book of Wisdom, as old as it is a book filled with, in a very real way, an invitation. To you, therefore, O princes, are my words addressed, that you may learn wisdom, that you may grow in faith, that you may continue to be showered upon by the presence of God's Spirit. In the gospel this day, my friends, we can see the Spirit of Jesus at work. He obviously is going somewhere. He's going to Jerusalem, a sign that he knows his mission is coming to its completion. He's busy. I'm guessing there is a lot on his mind. And yet, when he hears these voices, they stood at a distance. They did what lepers were supposed to do. They didn't go running up to him. They stayed their distance. They were socially distanced from him. And they yelled out, have mercy on us. Even though there might have been a million things going on in Jesus' mind, he heard them. He responded to them. He told them to go to the priests, and on the way, they were healed. That's what his ministry is about. In the end, they didn't even say thank you. One who wasn't even a Jew. And yet, He was always there to give of himself, to share the power of his Spirit, because Jesus knew that his power, his presence, his divinity was given not for himself, but for them, for you, for me. Today, my friends, our church invites us to remember the spirit of the mission of Jesus, to hear the cries of the poor, to reach out to the brokenhearted, to listen to our prayer. As we pray this day, as we lift up our intentions to him, he would have us remember that he is always there for us, always. All he asks in return is the gratitude that might lead us to always be there for one another.